So that takes 60 seconds. So one person with that little dolly can move 4,500 chickens in 60 minutes without starting an engine. You know, in the next 15 years, half of all America's agriculture equity is going to change hands. That's a catastrophic change in agrarian equity that has never happened in any civilization in history in peace. That is $15,000 per acre per year from the chickens. Alan Nation said, he said, everybody should aspire to arrive at a point in their life when you get up in the morning, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much there. It starts in your mind. It starts in your heart, goes to your mind, and then comes out through your hands and feet. Our whole land design platform is access, water, control. A lot of times the difference between profit and loss is not getting a premium, for the best, because the best always has a premium.
Yep.
It is elevating the salvage. So the first station is the kill cone, and so this is kind of a Temple Grandin idea, where you give them a hug and they can't flop around. We don't do electrocution, we don't do gassing, we don't do suffocation, which is why we don't take any animal certification. The only 3 kills that animal welfare recognizes are electrocution, gassing, or suffocation. All those have big problems. So we basically do a halal kosher kill, just slit the jugular, and the sensation is like, you know, when you go down and then you pick up real quick, you get that lightheaded, that's the sensation, and they're out in about 1 second. And then this is the scalder here. All right. This is the scalder here that runs at 145 for 145 for about a minute and 15 seconds. And then this is the automatic feather picker here that takes the feathers off. And so, yeah.
When did you first start scaling up to some of these? It's a lot nicer than probably what it was a long time ago, huh?
Well, we've used the cones from day one.
Yeah.
When I started, when I was 16, 15 years old, I bought cones from a guy on the Eastern Shore. He was an old 70-year-old guy that had started, you know, processing when he was young, and he really recommended the cones, and I bought them from him, started using them, and I think the whole cone thing came from the fact that I got cones when I was 16 and started using them from this old guy who had used them in the 50s. But yeah, it gives you a lot of control. It's good for the chicken, and yeah, the scalder we upgraded to that big Ashley scalder. I don't know, probably 20 years ago, I guess, at least. And we've had the picker from day one. Now that's not the same picker we had 40 years ago, but it's the same. We've always had a big picker, just so we're not wearing it out.
And the key on this is get the right temperature.
That's right.
So then you don't peel the skin off,
right.
or that it doesn't take the hair off properly.
The key is the scalder. Scalder's everything. If you're not getting a good pick, it's always the scald.
And he was adding in, what's in that bottle? Soap?
That's soap to make the water sudsy,
yeah,
and break the surface tension. And yeah, they're really rolling right now. They're going pretty fast.
We're planning on doing about just over 500 today.
Yeah,
a little nicer weather than earlier in the summer, probably.
About 550 today. Yeah, well, we love to do this when it's, you know, kind of cloudy and rainy, yeah, and stuff. So then they come here. The heads go to a pet food outfit, Farmhounds in Atlanta, and they make dog treats. They dehydrate them and make dog treats out of the heads, which we then sell from Polyface. So they're really cool. They've allowed places like us to hold on to the branding all the way through, and it's made marketing wonderful for them because they don't have to now market everything. They just value add it, send it back to us, and we get to add another thing to our customer base, and they don't have to market it. So it's been a really great thing. The feet all go in a bag for people buying them for broth and gelatin and stuff. We used to compost all that, and now it's all got value. And then this is the evisceration table. And Daniel actually designed this table. It's got sunken perforated trays in it, so you don't have any cross-contamination on the table surface. Everything that one person's doing goes straight through to the bottom, and so it's real clean. And of course they're gutting and separating and taking out the hearts and livers. And then the benchmark here is 30 seconds per bird. That's the benchmark for evisceration.
What type of chickens are they? Cornish crosses?
Well, these are the same genetics as the regular, industry birds.
Yeah.
Double-breasted. We call them NASCAR race car high-octane double-breasted birds. And Alan Nation used to say, in marketing, you can be a Buddhist or you can be a nudist, but you can't be a nudist Buddhist or nobody will trust you. And so, we don't apologize for wanting to make a credible alternative to the entire factory farming system. So when you tell somebody, well, you don't really want to buy them from Walmart, you want to buy them from us, and you want to buy a razor-breasted, all dark meat, 16-week-old, can't cook it fast chicken, you've just become a nudist Buddhist.
Yeah. So
the beauty of this is that they're close enough to looking like what's in the store that they're not off-putting.
Yeah.
And so our first goal is to eliminate factory farming, and then we can always niche the niches after that. But the first thing is to get rid of factory farming.
And how many weeks?
And I don't have a problem if somebody wants to do exotic heritage or whatever birds. That's fine. We do those with our roosters. We offer our roosters. We have stewing hens. So we have 3 kinds of chicken. The young broiler, Cornish cross, and then we have the roosters, which are the brothers of the pullets that we're hatching, and then we have the old stewing hen. And we have a definite clientele that wants those kind of birds, especially if they've grown up in another country, in Asia or Africa or something. They're used to those all brown meat, razor-breasted birds that arguably have more orange fat. They eat more grass. They're less fragile, but
they take a lot longer.
They take a lot longer to grow, so you have to sell them for more, and a lot of people don't appreciate that or can't tell enough difference, to justify the additional cost.
So what are these guys at, like 5 weeks?
No, these guys are probably 8 weeks.
8 weeks?
Yeah. They grow, here they grow about 15 to 20% slower than in the factory farms because they get to sleep at night.
Yeah.
We don't keep lights on them all night, and they actually run around. So they actually run off some of their calories. We call this the disassembly line. And then they go on down here to quality control. So that's what's going on here, quality control, just to make sure no pin feathers and that they're clean and ready to go. And then the scale here, they're weighed. And
you want to hit that 5 pounds.
We try to anything that's right at 5 pounds. We put into parts and pieces. If they're not 5 pounds, it's hard to justify parts and pieces because you don't get a big enough breast to justify it. So we sort them, and so they're going these different barrels or different weight classes. So some are going as whole bird, some are going as partial. So this is an initial chill here. This is getting changed every time the water gets a little bit pinkish as it soaks stuff out, and then that keeps this ice bath nice and clean. So this initial sort is real efficient because you're touching them anyway, so you might as well do your sort here as you touch them, as opposed to later. So then they'll chill here, we'll get done, clean up, have lunch, then come back. By that time everything's cold, and then we can go, and then we can cut up and package and do whatever else we got to do.
How are you packaging the whole birds?
Just in a plastic bag. We don't vacuum seal.
Yeah. What do you have like those plastic bags you put a straw in and suck the air out, or just plastic bag?
We let them drain. We put them in these. When we bring them over to package, we put them in the brown totes sitting on their rear, so all the water drains out. And we don't even cut the necks off. We leave everything's on there. Yeah, we can jump here in this is my my side-by-side. See, self-respecting farmers are supposed to have a $23,000 John Deere Gator, but since I'm not a self-respecting farmer, I can have a $2,000 Jeep. High mileage, but it gets us around. And I've got a windshield and a roof and can carry several people.
So your home farm here is like 550?
Yeah, that was the original home.
You just have, I saw that black poly pipe, just 1 inch or 1 1/4 inch?
Well, that's an irrigation. That's an irrigation pipe. Yeah, we have 12 miles of buried water line that goes around the edge of all these fields.
Okay.
That gives us gravity water.
And is that frost-free buried, or
Yeah.
So how deep you gotta go for that?
We go. I mean, you're supposed to go 3 feet here, but we go 18 inches, and we never had any problem.
That would be nice. It'd be nice to go 3 feet.
Yeah, you probably go what, 5?
We're supposed to go 6, but
Supposed to go 6.
I also think the same thing. I think we could get away with only going. I haven't really messed with it too much because we still have it just above ground, but most winters it doesn't seem like it's getting any deeper, especially with the nice grass on top.
Yeah, well, I mean, a good sod is worth 12 inches of soil.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I was saying. We go 18 inches here. We've never had an issue. So these are of course these are the broilers. Everybody knows about them.
Well, cattle must have been out here relatively recently.
Yes, they were just here last week. In fact, yeah, they were just here. What are we? Yeah, they were here last week.
So these are all out here when the cattle are grazing through, and they don't beat them up too bad?
No, we put electric fence around them.
Okay.
So I'll move one here just so you can capture it on film. This is the last batch of the year here. So you just stick the dolly under the edge. Now it's on,
one
a
scooted
little
out.
escapey. Little, some sort of rebellious libertarian there.
Still got it.
All right. Of course, these have already been moved once today. We'll just move them again. So they just walk along to the next spot.
So as they get bigger, do you have you guys move them more frequently than throughout the day?
No, we just move them once a day. I mean, you could move them more, but
Yeah.
but it kind of becomes a diminishing returns.
Yep.
So that takes 60 seconds. So one person with that little dolly can move 4,500 chickens in 60 minutes without starting an engine. And you know, we see all over the country, we see people trying to great big, you know, hoop structures and all this. We got so tired about, I don't know what, 12 years ago, being told we were obsolete, that we bought one of those $7,000 hoop structures, built it and ran it side by side, and we beat the pants off of it. We don't even use it.
Couldn't last.
Just efficiency.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the ads say move 500 birds in 10 minutes. Well, we move 750 birds in 10 minutes without starting an engine. You don't have to drive over your land. You don't have to compact anything with a machine. It's all nice and quiet. The birds aren't all distressed because there's an engine running around.
You're not catching them.
Not catching them. Yeah, you've got way more control. You know, you can see, and you got way more conformity to the land. I mean, you know, if you have to have laser level land to run it, there isn't a whole lot of farmland in America that's that level. We're certainly not. You got, you know, dips and undulations, and so by having the smaller unit, it conforms a lot more to the land. You know, is it valleys and zigs and zags and hills. So,
Yeah, it seems hard to imagine getting a return on some of those. I mean, some of those portable ones that supposedly move themselves are 20 grand.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
Only,
yeah.
I don't know if there are even 1,000 birds in them.
Yeah. I don't know how in the world you get your return on those. And so, you know, we have 160 of these now, and the thing is, people are too stubborn to build the dolly, and so they're out here jerking around trying to, you know. And the other thing is,
well, that's been my problem. So I'm not a welder. But I mean, I probably should just find a welder and
yes, just find a friend that welds. Yeah. It's not complicated. Anybody that has any shop work can do this. And there's a template in Polyface Designs. There's a template in there so that anybody can make one. But I mean, to us, that's the secret of the whole thing is the dolly, because suddenly now, you know, even a 100-pound gal can move these, and it just works real simple. I mean, you start putting wheels. People, put wheels on all of them. I mean, the wheels are $30. So you start adding $30 on each, you know, and then you got the contraption. You got to be able to lift it up, put it down. I mean, it's just complicated. So the beauty of this is you have a box, and you have a portable axle, you know, and you just move your axle from one to the other. It's a completely different.
And these aren't even 2x4s; these are 1x, aren't they?
Oh yeah, very light. The single biggest.
Making them too heavy.
The single biggest mistake everybody makes making them too heavy. Because most people will come to this, you know, they've had sheep or pigs or cows or something, and they're used to building something substantial. But these are chickens, you know. They
don't need much.
They don't need much. They definitely don't need much.
And you don't have any guardian dogs or anything out here?
Not right now. We do have a couple guardian dogs that we move around if we have a problem.
Yeah.
And so right now we're okay here, but they're at other places right now. Yeah. So.
What are these? Are these feed barrels out here?
Yeah. Those are feed tanks. Yeah, those are feed tanks. So we just roll them up the field, you know, and then fill them from the buggy. So yeah, everything we do here is, I mean, you notice how short the grass. Well, the chickens love short grass. They don't like tall grass.
Right.
And they can't really masticate it. And it makes them dirty because they lay it over, and then they poop on it. Now it's slick, and now they get dirty. When it's short, the manure goes right onto the ground surface. So they actually, you know, it's absorptive, and they stay a lot cleaner. So there's a lot, and we're moving them east. We always move them east because the morning sun draws them. When you move them, they you know, people are, run over them. Well, if you move them west, you're asking the chickens to go into the dark. Well, chickens don't like to go into the dark. They like to go into the light. The only time they like to go in the dark is when they're laying an egg. Then they like to go to the dark. But other than that, they're drawn to the light. So by moving them east, they move it. You saw how they crunched up there to the front end as I moved them, and so I'll just say there's no end of ways to make something not work.
Yeah.
You know? And so you just make it work. And you know, if they're calling for 40-mile-an-hour winds, then we just take the water bucket and set it on the door till the wind eases off, and it can take some pretty heavy wind.
So these water buckets these are pretty simple too, huh?
Oh yeah. Notice there's no fitting. We just cut a hole a little smaller than the rubber tube, and you cut the end on a diagonal so you can grab it with a pair of needle nose pliers and pull it through, and it works. It works just fine.
Leaking out.
Very, very simple. Very, very simple.
These little waters seem to be the best option, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people want to use nipples, but we like the plasons in here because you can see if it's working. A nipple, you can't tell if it's working or not.
Right. Yeah.
And so this way, I mean, look, the birds at this size here, they're only getting chores once a day. So they get feed and water once a day in the morning. And so in the afternoon, chores are just a walk by. You just walk by and make sure everything's okay. Once they hit about 5 weeks, then they need water and feed twice a day. Okay. So we make a huge distinction here between once a day and twice a day chores. It makes a big difference in the, in the workload.
Yep. And then that piece of wire in the middle there is just to help hold it together?
That piece of wire holds the edges together, otherwise the middle would sink.
Okay.
So you see you got a brace going down there, and that wire keeps those bottom edges from spreading, otherwise the middle would cave in. It also helps the birds to move forward, because it'll catch them as you're moving. It gives you a second little catch, to keep them coming. Yeah, there's a lot of years of experimentation and nuance in these.
Yeah, how many seasons now has it been doing chickens?
Well, the story of this, a lot of people think we sat around one day in some sort of focus group and came up with this, but actually, one of my most memorable childhood experiences, I don't know, maybe I was 8, 7, I don't know, little. And Dad, one Sunday afternoon, Dad said, I want to go visit this farmer. Let's take a drive. So we all got in the car And we took this drive down. I don't remember where it was, and I don't remember what the guy had. I don't know whether it was pigs, lambs, chickens. I don't know what he had, but he had portable A-frame shelters in the field, which of course have been around a long time. And all I remember about the trip was Dad virtually levitating coming home about the idea of mobile infrastructure. I mean, that was a revolutionary concept. I mean, you build a barn, right? You know, you build a chicken house. You build, you know, so everything is stationary. But the idea of a mobile infrastructure shelter was just revolutionary because for two things. One is that it gives you flexibility if you put it somewhere and you don't like it there. You know, after a year, I don't think this is the best place, or I think it ought to be over there. Well, you can take it over there.
Yeah.
But secondly, it's generally much cheaper to build, and thirdly, there's no building inspection. There's no rules, licenses. This is a machine. This is a farm machine. Mm-hmm. And of course now we know that this. I mean, wasn't thinking about it then, but now one of the biggest selling points of this is that you don't have to own the land that it's on.
Yeah.
So you can put this in the median of an interstate, city park, suburban backyard, you know, the apron of an airport. I mean, you know, under fruit trees, on a beef cattle farm, dairy farm. So we've got young people, you know, farming now, don't own any land. They go to a neighbor and say, guess what, I'll fertilize those 20 acres for you. I won't charge you anything. Well, sure. And so now they're farming full time, don't own any land, but the whole farm is mobile. The infrastructure is mobile, which suddenly divorces the farm from the land, which creates an entry level for young farmers, because the single biggest hurdle of getting into farming is buying the land. So if you don't have to buy the land, suddenly your capitalization entry point drops way down.
Yeah.
And of course, as you know, the elephant in the room right now in American agriculture is there's a successional problem. You know, in the next 15 years, half of all America's agriculture equity is going to change hands because the average farmer is 60 years old. So that's a catastrophic change in agrarian equity that has never happened in any civilization in history in peace. It's only happened in war. Now, I'm not suggesting we're getting ready to be in war. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. But if we make that level of agrarian equity transfer peacefully, we will be the first civilization in history to do it.
Yeah.
Which is not the way to bet, actually. Yeah. I mean, the way to bet is to assume we'll be like all the rest of them.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's kind of strange too, because that you would think that would flood a market to drive a price down for the asset, but it's not going to.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
I mean, we're going the other way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like two weird kind of things going on there.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I'm desperate. One of the things that I'm desperate to do is try to create models that will facilitate on-ramps for young farmers.
Yeah.
For new young, and I think this is the mobile infrastructure. There is not a square foot of agricultural land in the world that wouldn't benefit from pastured poultry.
Yeah.
Not a square foot in the world. And so this can be done anywhere.
And it's scalable.
And so the next part, it's mobile. The next thing is it's modular. So, you know, in industrial ag thinking, if you're going to scale, you make whatever you have bigger.
Yeah.
You make a bigger chicken house, you make a bigger pig house, you make a bigger corn crib, you make a bigger everything. It becomes bigger. But that's not the way nature scales. Nature scales with duplication. If they want more beef, you make baby calves. If you want more tomatoes, you don't make a great big tomato plant, you plant more tomatoes. You know, if you want more eggs, you don't make a great big egg, you have more chickens. And so nature scales with duplication. And so with the modular concept, that's the way we scale. So we have enough of these to be more than the equivalent of a Tyson chicken house.
Yeah.
But they're modular. And they came, over years of time. And you know, if you want to get into chickens with Tyson, the first thing you got to do is build a $700,000, you know, chicken house. Here, you just, you know, cut off your Netflix subscription for, you know, 3 months, and you build one. And if you like it, you can keep your change and you build another one. And if you're nuts like we are, you can build 160 of them. But you do it over years, over time, debt-free. Dave Ramsey would be happy.
Yeah. So the economics behind this, you have how many birds in one of these again? All
right, so we put 76 in, and we assume that we're going to sell 70.
Okay.
You know, you're going to lose a couple.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of them aren't going to be saleable. They're going to be small or whatever. So we assume 70 birds.
Loss.
So, yeah. So we're going to assume we sell 70 birds, and we're going to sell them for an average of $25. That's the whole broilers might be 18 or 19, but the parts and pieces are going to be more like, you know, 35. So so we're going to say an average of 25. So, you know, 70 times 25 is 7 times 20 would be,
well, 70 times 20
70 times 20 would be 1,400, and then another 350 would be 1,750. I got that right? Yeah, you're not supposed to do math in real time in front of anybody in public. Yeah, 1,750. Yeah. So
well, that's why we can always cut and post. So then you have about 1,750 in one of these
per batch, and each shelter here can run 4 batches a year. You know, four batches a year. So you know, that's about $7,000 per year per shelter, so that costs $400 to build. 280
birds, and then you have about say a $4 slaughter on average. That'd be probably pretty average around the whole country.
I would say on average, yeah. Yeah, if you're paying somebody to do it.
Which, if you're not paying, you probably should at least credit your time.
We figure us here at $2. $2 a bird, but we're not federally inspected. You know, you don't have all that paperwork and, you know, bathrooms for inspectors and.
So you knock, let's say $1,000. So you have about $6,000, and then you have how much one of these units cost you to build.
$400.
$400. So you pay for it in the first year.
Oh yeah. Easy. I mean, you almost pay for it in the first batch.
And then by the scaling, it spreads out the time investment daily. So you have, you know, you said what, 30 seconds on this a day, technically.
Our time motion study on chores is very, very liberally. We assume $5 per shelter per day. You know, you got it $5, 5 minutes. So you've got a minute. You've got a minute to move it. You've got about a minute and a half feeding water. And then if you do a second chores in the day, you've got another minute and a half. So 5 minutes is very, very liberal. Really, it should be about 4, but that's all right. 5 minutes is okay. So when we're figuring our margins and our labor time and motion costs, we're figuring 5 minutes per shelter per day you know, for chores.
Which over 8.
And that gives you time to, you know, move the water trough, catch a chicken that runs out, you know, that sort of thing.
Which over 8 weeks is 56, so that's 200, just right around 215 hours. Or no, 215 minutes.
At $20 an hour, it's $1.25 per bird.
Yeah.
Labor. At $20 an hour, and that's if you hit all of our benchmarks, it moves up to about $30 an hour, and a lot of farmers would be happy to work for $30 an hour.
Yeah, and a lot of farmers would be happy with a 60-70% margin.
Yeah. Let's eliminate them. Looking for maggots. They're up and gone.
Oh, there's one guy.
That's not a maggot. That's something else. That's a weird little dung beetle.
Yeah.
There's something right there.
And the chickens would love this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I looked at another way, Taylor. we run, just to get a little different perspective, we run 600 birds per acre, okay? And so at 600 birds per acre.
For a year? Or just in one rotation?
In one rotation, but we only touch a given spot once a year, because they're putting on 200 units of nitrogen per acre, which is all the soil can handle here. So we don't want to over fertilize. I mean, as far as the soil is concerned, if you put too much nitrogen in, doesn't matter whether it's organic or inorganic. If it's too much, it's too much.
Yeah.
And so we run 600 per acre one time a year, and so at $25 a bird, that is $15,000 per acre per year, you know, from the chickens. And of course, we've grazed this with cows. We've brought egg mobiles through. We could run turkeys through. We made hay here, grazed cows. You know, so you're stacking.
Yep.
So you're when you add all that up, you know, you're actually up there in the, you know, 25,000 an acre, you know, range, which, you know, at that rate, a small farm can make a decent living.
Yeah, you can actually buy something maybe.
Yeah, you can actually pay for land that way. Yeah,
but it's well worth your time to test it on something else or whatever. Get 5 acres.
Yes, I mean we've bought 2 adjoining farms. In the last one we bought about 14 years ago, one we bought 5 years ago, and but you know, we had a going concern. Yeah, and we had proved the idea. And
well, you had equity in the properties that you had before,
right,
which helps. I would bet that you can still that land's going to appreciate pretty well over the next 20 or 30 years.
Yeah, I expect it is.
I always say to people, like, if you're sticking money into a 401k, I would argue you could do the same in land.
Oh yeah, it's just not as liquid.
Right.
And but yeah,
but it can be if you know how to work with the bank, which isn't always the best thing.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm a big believer in.
But it's not like a 401k is that liquid either. You're not going to go cash it out and get nailed with taxes. Like no one really wants to make any of this liquid. That's
right. And the thing is, this is real asset.
Yeah.
It's not some concocted, you know, Wall Street thing.
Right. That you have zero control over.
Yeah, zero control.
And it won't move as quickly as.
Right. And it can collapse.
Yeah.
I mean, land could collapse.
In theory, but you would think it would take longer.
But yeah, they're not making any more of it.
Yeah.
Except in Hawaii.
Right. Dubai. I don't know, it is hard to wrap your mind around land prices, but like, you guys thought land was expensive 40 years ago, too. Like,
yeah.
Oh, it's always expensive.
Yeah.
It always feels, it's all.
Yeah, but the ratios have definitely changed.
Yeah.
I mean, when Mom and Dad bought this Core 550 back in 1961, 550 acres, the house, the barn, which has now been, you know, quadrupled in size, but anyways, a little barn, little equipment shed, the tractor, hay rake, the whole thing, $49,000. But you know, in those days, a teacher made $3,000 a year.
Yeah.
But in those days, I remember looking back at those receipts, a feeder calf at that time sold for $180.
And what? So that, when was that?
1961. Feeder calf
$180. $180. And you paid $100 an acre.
And we paid $100 an acre, and you could grow half of a calf on an acre per year. Yeah. So that's a production value of $90 an acre.
Yeah.
And 49,000 was $90 an acre for the 550 acres. So
and now you're looking, what's the land like in this area right now? 20?
So you know,
8,000? Oh, that's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, 8,000, and well, of course, right now that feeder calf is $2,000, but that's an anomaly. That's not going to go forever. Anyway, Even if
5 years ago it was $500.
Yeah, exactly. So if we say, you know, as a rule of thumb, that feeder cap's even 1,061, it was a 1-to-1 ratio, market value to production. Today, it's a 10-to-1.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't do what Grandpa did.
Yeah.
You've got to do something different.
Yeah. Just seems so difficult to make the argument for a good living just doing this. For the everyday person.
Yeah. Well,
because everything we talked about, like with your stuff here, I mean, the marketing side is the whole animal that makes that work.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's just a whole different business that.
Yep.
How do you get the education into people?
Yep.
You know, like we'll have a marketing webinar. Like to me, I look at, that's why I said I want to hear about the economics at Ecology, because we can do a soil health webinar and 1,000 people will show up.
Yep.
We'll do a marketing webinar or business management. 50 people.
Yep. I know exactly. We've had the same thing at Stockman Grass Farmer. Same situation. Boy, you want one to really collapse? Do one on succession. Yeah. Oh my, nobody will come to that. We tried that at Stockman and they wanted to. I said,
it's probably the kids that show up, not the ones that have control of the land.
We required, the only way you could come was if both generations came.
Oh.
We required
no
that.
One's coming.
And we had I don't know, 10 or 12. Yeah. I mean it didn't, but man, the material was fantastic. And we had an attorney that specializes in estate planning, and oh my, the material was out of this world, but nobody wants to talk about it, you know. And yet,
and what do you think that is? It's a procrastination thing almost, where it's like you'd rather not think about it or deal with it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's too hard, you know. Mom and Dad have to deal with the kids that aren't on the farm, and they don't want to talk about that. And well, you know, a few people don't want to talk about dying, you know. And so that's just a tough nut.
This is thick high tensile.
Yeah, that's aluminum.
Okay.
That's aluminum, 12.5 gauge aluminum. Yeah.
For a while there, I thought it was something else.
Yeah, that's what we use for all of our permanents, is 12.5 gauge aluminum. We love it. We just love it. The deer don't mess with it much because it's so visible. It's bright and shiny. It never rusts. It's so light you don't have to use any brace posts. You just stick a post in and you're good to go. So yeah, we love it. It's a little more expensive than steel, but it conducts 30% better. It's half as heavy. There's a lot to recommend it. You know, so this is a pig silvopasture here in recovery. There's nothing there right now. So those are half-acre paddocks. We're gonna come up to some pigs up here.
If you think about why these giant companies are involved with food, it's like, well, if you were to sell a product, you'd want to sell a product that every human has to consume. Yeah,
consumables. Consumables are a marketer's nirvana.
Yeah.
Consumables. You don't want to sell something that you don't ever have to replace.
And you can't ignore the fact that you have to be an entrepreneur. You aren't just a land manager.
Right. And there just aren't very many entrepreneurs. Yeah. Fewer than 10% of the population are entrepreneurs.
Right, and then the true entrepreneurial brain looks at the economics of this and like, well, I could go start a different company. And
well, there's no question but what the amalgamation of the early organic companies were exactly that. That, you know, in 1915, there were 1,500 brands of automobiles.
Yeah.
But you know, if you look at innovation and development of innovation, it starts with all these radical, you know, weirdos out here experimenting and doing things, and then gradually it starts to amalgamate to the ones that are true entrepreneurs, you know, that really get it, and then you have this amalgamation thing.
But then I feel like this also happens a little bit in our industry, where if you peel the onion back on some of the businesses that are considered really good marketers, they get in a position where like then their markets, they can't keep up with their demand, so then they start pretty much just becoming a Walmart. Sourcing it from other places, and then they lose their
Then they use
quality.
their differentiation edge. That's right.
But I get that, as looking at a business perspective, it's like, well, why wouldn't you just go source more product from the people who are doing the most time-consuming part of this?
Yeah.
When you have the market and you have the thing that none of them want to deal with.
Yeah. So this is not a pig pasture here. This is what we call an acorn glen.
I was gonna say, how's your acorn load this
Oh
year?
man, the acorns have been great.
Amazing.
And they're they're getting ready to be moved. We'll stop here and go in and talk to them. Yeah, so you can see. So this was another one of my innovations. I'm going around and how do we got all these acorns? How do we harvest them with pigs? And I remember coming back one time and asking Daniel, I wonder how much 1,000 hog panels would cost. Of course, he rolled his eyes. And one night, I woke up and I had this idea. Nylon rope, and we just zigzag it from tree to tree, and we can encircle, a couple, 3, 4, 5 acres. And the pigs are just finishing here. I think they're going to be moved tomorrow, actually, if not this afternoon. They're going to go over here. They're going to go over here. But we've got a bunch of these acorn glens, and we only touch them once a year. So they're only in here just to eat up the acorns. But man, that's a money saver.
Yeah. What happens? I mean, we just finished. We just sent in our last group this week. They cut their feed down by 40-50%.
Yep.
In the first, probably like the first 4 or 5 days in that new paddock, and then you can tell when they start eating more feed. All right, move them.
Well, my most dramatic was the first time we tried this. We had over at one of the pig pastures.
And we don't have this many oaks in ours either.
Well, we had a bunch of pigs over there. There was a big group, 40 pigs, and they were big. They were almost finished, and they were eating 400 pounds of feed a day. And we got the first paddock set up. I moved them over, put them in that paddock, and we put the cell feeder in with them, so they could come and get the feed if they wanted to. They didn't touch it for 5 days.
Yeah,
that's 2,000 pounds of direct feed savings. So this enables us to control them very cheaply.
Yeah. So does this stay here then all year?
Yeah. Deer go over it, bear, and it's very non-intrusive. And
I also like the rope because you're not messing with that tree.
That's right. Yeah, I was desperate for something that wouldn't mess up the tree, even if it grows into the tree.
Yeah.
A grandchild's not going to break a chainsaw in 40 years, if there's something embedded in it. Oh yeah, you want to lose your salvation around here? You put a nail in a tree. I mean, that's like direct.
That's criminal.
Direct to hell. I mean, that's the end of it right there, man. So yeah, we're pretty adamant about that. So the rope, the nylon rope, and it lasts for years and years and years.
Just crazy. I would never even considered running hot wire with nylon rope.
Yeah,
but I'm sure
I mean, it's a poor boy insulator.
Yeah.
And as long as you're pulling away from the tree, so we just zigzag it. Hi, Piggles.
Do you think that, so in my opinion, when they get to this size, they just become so much easier to keep into hot wire?
Oh yeah.
I would not probably want small,
no.
Your feeders in here.
The little ones, we run 2.
Yeah.
We run 2.
Yeah.
And we make sure they're trained well, before they come out.
Right.
But yeah, these guys here, they just, what happened, two things happened. One is that they become very respectful of the electric fence over, as they age. But number 2 is that the tolerances you have to run the wire become so much wider.
Mm-hmm.
A little pig, you've got 2 inches of tolerance, and they're either going to go over it or under it.
Yep.
These, you've got 8 inches of tolerance,
Yeah.
which you know, completely changes things.
And I think they quit testing it as much when they get older.
Yeah. So these, unlike the pig pastures, these are much bigger, more expansive, only once a year. And we've been up here working, as you can see. I need to. We're going to bring the chipper up and get all these tops and stuff out. We've been up here working. I've got a log up there. I'm half cut up, and we're working in here to open it up a little bit.
So you are actively trying to thin it a little bit.
Yeah. You can see it. You can see it up through there.
Yeah.
We're working, kind of working this way, and so all this little stuff, these little red maples and stuff, that'll all be chipped when we bring the chipper up. We'll get all that chipped. Now the acid test. Let me see if I got water. Ah, yes, good. We've had a.
So this looks like just to be 1 inch.
Yeah, it's just 1 inch.
200 psi. 100.
Yeah, that's 200 psi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because it's on top of the ground, we don't want a bear or squirrel to.
Yeah,
do it
200
much.
psi seems to be the.
So we have this. This is the high system, and then we have a low system coming from that pond right there that's buried. It's buried all the way down to the farm. This is the high system, and it's coming from a spring on top of the mountain, the spring is a spring, but it's not a real strong spring. So when it gets real dry, it just doesn't give you a whole lot of water. So we can't really run the farm on it. So, you know, we have these 3 ponds, 1, 2, and then there's another one right over here. They're all hooked together, and that gives us enough water to run the whole farm. But we don't have enough elevation for these high pig things, so we run them on its spring.
Yeah.
And it gives a little more elevation. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a great acorn year.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we've had a huge.
But do you
huge drop.
feel like it's because that was one thing I was thinking. I was like, well, if you were to like scale something like that and be reliant some way on acorns, like they aren't that reliant of a crop, or do you feel like?
No, they're pretty cyclical.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you have them, sometimes you don't.
Right.
But sometimes it can be as different as, well, we had them on the south slope this year, and next year we have them on the north slope. You know, it can be that variant. I think I asked Stella. I think she said she's either moving them this afternoon or tomorrow. So they're about ready to go. They'll go over to here, and there's a lot of acorns over there. Tons of, I mean, yeah, we're like you, we've had a great drop.
On the ground?
Some are probably, you know, white oak, red oak, black oak, you know, they have a little different way, but man, they're gonna just,
And they're gonna like these.
vacuum it up.
That's what they're made to do too.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yep, that's right. Yeah, see, these are different than these are round.
Yeah.
Yours is, yeah, clearly 2 different kinds of tree. But yeah, boy, if I could just do what I wanted to do all the time, I mean, you know, no responsibilities, I would come in here and do this to all of it. You know, open it up, and man,
That's your happy chore work.
that's my happy chore
Chainsaw work.
It really is, yeah, happy chore work. But you know, I've got to coordinate with the team to bring the chipper up, you know, and
Yeah.
chip up the little stuff.
When do you think you're gonna be able to just do whatever you want to do without the responsibility? I think you got to be close to that, aren't you?
Well,
Now you got too many traveling obligations.
I'm at the point now. Alan Nation said everybody should aspire to arrive at a point in their life when you get up in the morning, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much there at that point. But that doesn't mean I don't have responsibilities that I enjoy.
Yeah.
That I enjoy.
You've chosen them
Yeah,
to be responsible.
but I've chosen those responsibilities because I like them. We had an anomaly this year, midsummer. A bear came and jerked the jerk the intake line out of the PVC line that goes under the pond dam.
Oh, really?
And so we ended up.
So it just opened up?
Yeah. So yeah, but the water was bad. It was funky down off the bottom.
Yeah.
It just was not good water. And so we had to drain the pond enough to get, and here we were in the summer, you know, it fills in the winter. This summer it doesn't fill. And so here we had to drain it so we could get in there and fix it. And so we've been a little bit pressed all season and then we had this, and then we've been in this drought, so it's been a little bit tough. This is the first pig pasture.
Is the drought just pretty much just predicted now? Like you're going to experience that for these
4 out of 5 years.
Yeah.
4 out of 5 years we're going to have a drought. This is the first pig pasture we did. Started back about, goodness, almost 40 years ago. Yeah, they've been out of here now just for a week. Yeah, there's 6 paddocks, I think. And
got them making their own swale and berm system here.
Oh yeah. I want to just check this while we're up here. I want to check, make sure my water tank's filling. Well, what's? Good grief.
So this fills from what? The spring?
Yeah. All right. Well, now we got to go on up because that should have been full. It was running in last evening when I came. Now it's.
We're here solving problems.
Yeah. I was just going to check it and make sure it was okay, and it's obviously not. So now I've got to go on, find out what the deal is. This is maddening. The spring clogged up, the intake, the little screen clogged up, and the system went down back last week. So Thursday, before I left for the Cincinnati, the Rogue Food Conference, I was up and got it back up, and came home Sunday night, and they said we still don't have water. So I came up yesterday, worked on it, and found I had a obstruction. We have a valve cracked, and when it dropped down a lot, it didn't have a lot of pressure, and so debris built up in front of this little valve that I had cracked open and blocked it. So I moved the valve and immediately, it came in. All right, good. We got that up and running. And
no, it's probably clogged again.
I wonder if it's clogged again.
I mean, we're driving through woods that most people would consider unusable in agriculture purposes.
Yeah, well, you see, this is all electric fence. See the electric fence down there? These are all acorn glints. So we'll run the pigs all through these.
How much? So you buy all those pigs as feeders every spring?
We buy pigs every month.
Every month. Okay.
We're going to slaughter.
Management.
We're going to slaughter every week with 15 hogs, roughly. So yeah, we have a whole pipeline. Yeah, we're year round. Now they're not out here in the winter.
Yeah.
They go into the hoop houses in the winter. Well, I wasn't planning on this, but I'm glad we were here to see it. I said I'll just use this little walkabout to make sure all is well. Well, it's not well. You never have problems on your place, do you?
Always something.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even go for the walks anymore because then it just adds more work.
Andy Lee used to say, if somebody comes and visits your place and you have to apologize 3 times because you're embarrassed about something, he said, you have a management problem. He said, everybody expects you to be embarrassed about one thing. That's normal. But if you're embarrassed about 3 things, then you've got a problem. And I think in general, he's about right.
Yeah.
Yep, it blocked up again. There it is. Oh, I'm glad it was that easy. How can I make sure? See, I can't pull it too fast, or it'll take it faster than the spring is going in.
Yeah.
And then we get vapor lock up there at the top because it's pulling too fast.
So you think in that pipe where that valve is it got a little clogged again?
Yeah, see, I don't have it very open.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming in there now. That's a bummer. I was so scared yesterday of pulling it away too fast that I probably just restricted it down too hard. See, the spring is so high that we have these 2 cisterns to drop the pressure. Otherwise the pressure would be 300 pounds.
Yeah.
So we run it into this cistern, and then we run it. Oh look, these kids have signed their names to this thing. That's hilarious. There you go. Oh, that's funny. I think that's more than I had yesterday. I think I'll just let it go right there. See what it's like tomorrow. So we were the only, back in the 68, 69, Virginia Division of Game and Inland Fisheries came through trying to buy up 100,000 acres here on the mountain to create a wildlife management area, basically a playground for hunters. And we were the only landowner that wouldn't sell our mountain land to them. And they've despised us ever since, because they have a road that goes to the top of the mountain, and when it comes to us, it has to go all the way down to 42 to the highway, and then it has to come back up on the other side.
Well, you've always made good friends with the government.
Yeah, yeah, making friends with the government's never been one of our objectives. All right, well, that's good. I'm glad it was that easy. I'm also bummed that it was that fragile, but because I mean, normally this thing, I mean, we don't look at it for weeks.
Speaking of our government, what's your initial reaction to the first year of a new administration?
Yeah,
that promised all of us livestock.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm watching the disappointment of people that RFK sold out and different things, but you know, I've been in it long enough. You know, you can't get everything you want all the time.
Yeah.
And you have to just work through it. And so, I'm actually pretty amazed at the Tylenol thing and all this, but you know, but then we've got these. I mean, next week I'm going for 2 days to D.C. to lobby with about 100 farmers against this EATS. You know, to not allow a state to make agriculture legislation. You know, California. The catalyst of it has been California and Massachusetts with their hog farrowing crates. You know, that they won't allow pork to be sold in their state that was born in a hog farrowing crate. And so the industry has gotten together and made legislation to make that illegal. And of course, there's a lot of other. It basically is a blanket. It's basically broad enough to say no state can make any statewide agriculture prohibition rule like that. And so there's about 100 of us that are going to descend on D.C. on Wednesday next week.
So you're saying California made a law that says if a hog was born in a crate, it can't be sold in California?
That's correct. That's correct. So in order to sell pork in California, you have to be certified crate-free farrowing. And what the opposition is saying is that becomes a barrier to states being able to engage in interstate commerce.
Yeah.
And so it becomes a de facto extortion, you know, on the commerce. And of course, you know, you've got people like Nyman Ranch, you know, us, but you know, people in the industry, in the organic and humane animal welfare industry, that have put a lot of time and attention on, crate-free production to capture that market, and now, the government's trying to say that California, Massachusetts can't do that, and so, of course, I'm a states' rights guy.
Yeah.
State can do whatever they want to, and I was up in Wisconsin, and doing the Republican county Republican group just outside of Des Moines. I'm sorry, Iowa, not Wisconsin. Iowa had me up, and Republicans said, what did he say? Are you saying that if a state, if a state says we won't allow ethanol sales, that a state should be able to do that? And I said, absolutely. States' rights. It's all about states. This was supposed to be an experiment of 50 states, and it wasn't a federal deal. And the federal is intruded on a million things they have no business intruding on. And anyway, we tangled a little bit.
Yeah, I can see you don't really fit into the Republican or Democrat.
No, I don't fit in either one. But I do feel strongly about states' rights.
Yeah.
And I think the federal should remand to the states about 90% of what it does. From education to everything else. And one of the reasons we have so much partisanship in the country is because it is a winner-take-all situation. If you had 50 different ideas floating around, then it wouldn't be a winner-take-all. You could go to another state, or you could at least look and see what another state's doing. What are their results of this certain policy? So this is our safety valve. If all goes, everything goes down, then this is our backup. And this was the one we used for years by itself, and then we had a drought and actually drained. We ran out of water, so then we built the other two. But yeah, I mean that's strictly this is PA Yeoman stuff. Strictly surface runoff. There's no creek. There's no, it's just a valley that runs a few months of the year.
And that's pretty clean water you're just getting from this mountain.
Oh yeah, it's very clean water. Yeah, I would drink out of that if I needed to.
What were you guys working on with Catherine Austin Fitz?
Oh, well, she was at the Rogue Food Conference in Cincinnati, along with Thomas Massey, and so I got to spend time with both of them. That was fun. Yeah, I actually went to her for about 20 minutes of personal coaching. I get, where I'm in my stage of life right now, I get probably at least once a week, if not more often, some come on from somebody, man, have I got the answer for everything. Somebody's always got, it could be financial, it could be the way to market local food, it could be any number of things, and I just get so tired of all of these peripheral paradise promises. And so I put it to her. I asked her, I said, what do you do with all that, from Bitcoin to whatever? And so it was really interesting. So she said that here you are, here as a person, and over here are all the control freaks. Over here is everything you can do that isn't controlled. Buy land, grow a garden, learn a trade, how to fix machinery, whatever, woodworking. And then down here is all this noise. Yeah. And it's everything from Bitcoin to maritime to register as a sovereign individual, give up your social security number. You've heard all. It's that whole, all that kind of conspiratorial.
Yep.
Let's withdraw from society. And she said, the control group loves this down here because it siphons off the energy that ought to be going up here in growing food, buying farms, building, vocations. And she just drew it out for me. I just love the way that she presented it. And I said, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. And I really
essentially stay focused on what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm doing a lot of homesteading talks now, homesteading stuff, and there are a lot of people in the city that are contemplating this. I say, and I ask them, do you get more excited about putting a quart jar of mung bean sprouts on the windowsill and a mother of sourdough starter than you do, sitting down to watch a movie? If you don't start a homestead.
Yeah. Because
it starts in your mind. It starts in your heart, goes to your mind, and then comes out through your hands and feet. And don't think for a minute, for example, if you got a 15-year-old that rolls her eyes every time you talk about going to the country, or you have to push them every day to just go gather the eggs from your 6 chickens in the backyard. Don't think that going to the country and having 200 chickens is suddenly going to make your 15-year-old want to go gather eggs.
There's opportunity where a lot of people are making money elsewhere.
Yeah.
And they want to put it in the land. Great,
right.
Do it.
Right.
But then don't bury yourself with the agricultural operation, because no one likes watching money leave their account.
Yeah.
I don't care how much of it you have.
Right. So that was the original piece we just kind of went on. So this we bought 5 years ago from a neighbor that aged out. His 2 girls didn't want it, and so we bought it.
So this is beyond the 550 of the original?
Yeah. So this is this is 293. So we're 950 now in total. Okay. We've added this piece and another piece we'll end up with over there. We added this one 5 years ago, and then the other one 14 years ago.
Are these just locust posts?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, our whole land design platform is access, water, controls the fencing.
Yeah.
Access, water, control, in that order. And that's
Are you dropping this rock here, or is this?
Yeah, no, we hauled this in. Hey, we're starting to get a little bit of water. Hey, that's cool. When that starts running, we know we're kind of seeing some light at the end of the tunnel out of the drought. So this is the conclusion of our fifth season here, and it's finally starting to
What was
respond.
done here before? Just stock grazing?
Just continuous grazing, herd of cows, and not a bit of anything put on the land for 40 years.
Turkeys?
Yep. This is the last batch of turkeys we do 3 batches of turkeys. This is our last.
What's your
batch.
secret on them to keep them alive? Because I have not been good at it.
Yeah. Well, they're real fragile when they're small. They have one desire when they're small, to figure out a more creative way to die.
Yeah.
And somebody must be up here doing something with them, or else the buggy died. They need to stay really warm. They can't have any breeze or draft. They need they are up here. They need 28% protein. Eric's up here. Oh, he's up here weighing them. Let's see how close they are. We can go out and look at them here. Hey, turkeys.
Just rocks for their.
Yeah, this batch is probably eating. They're eating 50 pounds of rocks a day.
Really?
Yep. That's one of the keys to them eating so much grass, because grass ferments way more difficult than soft grains. They eat the grain, it goes in their crop, and it gets moist and ferments, and we think that's one reason why the turkey manure seems to be better for us than the broiler, because it has so much mineral in it.
That makes sense.
And you know, it comes out biologically active, you know, in the manure. So because the grass is harder to ferment, they don't like to eat the grass unless they've got plenty of grit in their gizzard to grind it up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's Carolina nightshade.
Surprised they're not eating that. A squishy little berry.
Yeah, yeah. So these are getting moved every 2 days. And
Can you use these shade units for cattle too?
yeah. Oh, we use
They
them for
look pretty sturdy.
pigs, sheep, chickens, turkeys, cattle. Yeah, it's a really, I mean, obviously nothing else needs the purchase.
Right.
but the design actually is very, very structurally, it's a slick design, very simple. And those are just mobile home axles, and just a couple of things just to show some of the little nuances. So see, we have little extensions in front of the wheels, so when we move it, it moves the turkey along, so you don't run over a turkey.
Oh yeah.
That's a protective thing on the turkey. Hey, turkeys.
They would like to just get crushed by it.
Yeah, they're not the brightest bulb in the box.
And then what's this?
That's
where the
feed.
grain
That's
is?
a feed
Yeah.
buggy. That's a feed buggy with garner boards in the back. So that, you know, this is the way people used to keep. Oh, let's see. How is this? Oh, here it is. Here it is. So that's how they
Load it up.
Yeah, that's how you load it out.
Then do you have a grain auger that you pull around
Yeah.
to load these? Yeah.
Yeah, we have feeder buggies with an auger that we, and the top just comes off. It's bungeed somehow, and the top just comes off to fill it. Again, you know, that's a very simple. You know, people spend a lot of money on that kind of stuff, but we just make it like that, and it might not be pretty, but it works, and it's simple and cheap.
And how many groups of turkeys are you doing a year?
This is the third group, and so we'll have 2,000 turkeys that'll sell for about $75 a piece. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is a group of 400. Yeah, so you're looking at $30,000 right here. And we did not, but we could have run broilers on here. Obviously we ran cows on it. Egg mobiles, you know, and you just stack and stack and stack.
So from start to finish, how long?
16 weeks on average. Yeah, and what we're looking for is a 15-pound carcass. That's the on average. That seems to be the sweet spot. You know, small turkey fit 12 pounds, big turkey 18, but 15, 14 to 16 pounds is the sweet spot that people want. Isn't that right, old turkey? They look prehistoric, don't they?
Yeah. Turkeys are awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like to raise more.
I always say, yeah, I always say something happens at 6 weeks. Turkeys get brains at 6 weeks. Up until 6 weeks, they're just dumb as can be. But at 16 weeks, they get a brain and they start.
Well, I mean, I would argue the national bird should be a wild turkey.
Yes.
The smartest animal.
Yep. Ben Franklin, he wanted to be a turkey. I'd like that to be the case.
I mean, the eagle's cool, but it's also kind of like a varmint.
Yeah, it is.
It's not much different than a vulture. Yeah. We are overrun with bald eagles now, and not everyone thinks they're that cool anymore.
No. If you've got range poultry, eagles are not a friend. Definitely not a friend.
Well, it's like the nation's bird shouldn't be sitting on the side of the road eating a dead carcass.
Eric came up with this idea. That barrel there is a bubble to you take that barrel off and then the auger can fill it. That was his, and it's working great. So I'm always about these young people. If they got an idea, let's try it. Because now they're the ones working with it every day. I'm not.
Right.
Like they came up with the feeder on the tongue like that. That's pretty slick to just mount those feeders on the tongue like that.
Well, that's part of the thing that makes you special, because that's not a normal mindset in agriculture.
Oh yeah. No, it won't work. It won't work,
I've been doing this for...
We ain't been doing it this way for 50 years. What do you mean? You're not going to do that. Like that TV commercial where those guys, those board members sitting around.
I mean, that's got to be one of the key things that allows you to have, Daniel to want to stick around, because you actually listened to him when he was younger instead of... Can you imagine what the psychology of a kid is when they're just told no?
Yeah, absolutely.
15 years.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yeah, and they're 50 years old and have to ask Dad if they can cut a 2x4 to do something. I mean, that's very common actually. So a lot of people they get into the heritage turkeys, exotic heritage turkeys. Problem with heritage turkeys is they fly. You can't control them.
Yeah.
And back years and years ago, we had some nearby people that did a bunch of these heritage birds, and they came to us to process them for them. Okay, we'll process them. Well, they were selling them to the same restaurants we were selling them to in DC. So we said, let's do some taste tests. So we sent up, ours with them, and we were going to the same restaurant, and ours won every time because ours could be on fresh ground every day. Theirs, they couldn't control them. So they were in campsites. They were sleeping on 10 inches of poop, and I mean just.
Oh yeah.
And running on the same spot, same ground. These guys are getting a brand new spot every day. And as you can tell, again, we've only had this place for 5 years. See the stumps. This was some great big trees here with just brambles. And so we're still fairly early on in whatever.
It's a great way to get it going, though.
Oh yeah.
So you can move these guys every day, and
every 2 days. Every 2 days. Yep.
It's a pretty good sized paddock. They can cover a lot of ground. How many acres do you?
Yeah. Well, they've been all the way down through and into the point and back. Yeah, they're covering. What is this? This is at least half an acre. So they're covering a quarter acre a day.
And they've lived their whole life on this field.
Yeah. They started way up there at the top of the ridge, and they've gone all the way around. Then they zigged back up, and then came back down and around and here and heading out.
We'll measure the field.
Oh, you got all sorts of
23 acres.
Smart people. Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow, look at that. You got right there.
You ever play around? You probably don't play around with phones like this.
No, I don't even have a smartphone. 23 acres. Okay. Well, they will probably cover 15 acres of it by the time they're done. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty cool.
So this app, I have all of our paddocks. So then if I leave for a week, I'll write up a document and say,
Oh,
so you give them like all their day moves. And
yeah.
It's kind of nice. And then you obviously get to tell the acreage on them. And
Yeah.
Figure out how much things are eating.
Yeah. Well, we had Heather, the girl doing the farm tour there.
Yeah.
She has a master's in math. And so she came to us from working the IT help desk for a global, big outfit. And so she starts running the biggest farm that we leased. And I go over there one day just to look about things. She says, "Hey, jump on the four-wheeler, come with me." Okay, fine. Get on the four-wheeler, and she's got the farm on the phone there with all the cross fences, and she just puts in, I want 1.7 acres.
Yeah.
And so she just starts driving down along the cross fence, and the balloon, 1.7 acres, run the cross fence, she went along the permanent fence, and then she just stopped, put the cross fence up. I mean, it had it figured right to the. I said, man, that's pretty slick.
That's
Heather.
a nice thing. Whenever we build fence, I turn that thing on, stick it in my pocket, turn the tracker on, and then figure out exactly where you just ran fence.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
It's one of the good things about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad things about them.
So these are all water tees. So we mark the tee with a ear tag up on the wire. So if the grass grows up around the thing, you can still find it.
That's smart. I find that a lot of people that have done kind of innovative type things in our space seem to have an engineering background. And I think that like type of brain does well in this sort of farming. I'm totally I can't read a blueprint. I can't read a GPS thing. I have zero design, but but you have a problem solving.
But I have a problem. And I'm observant.
Yeah.
And I guess that solves a multitude of sins.
I mean, the same token, the engineering brain could also be the person that's overthinks everything too.
Yeah.
So it's a mix.
Yeah.
Because you can see people get crippled by just the analysis paralysis.
Oh
problem.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Hello, sheepies. So she's got them trained to these 2 wires, which is pretty cool. And they're basically an edge thing here. This is one of our team members, Jess, that was on the line there this morning. These are her sheep, and in other words, she came to us, said, "Hey, I want to try something." Sure. And so basically, it's a small flock. It's 25 ewes, so she'll sell 40 lambs, and when we put them on the website, and they're sold in 24 hours. It's crazy. But basically, she does edges. So here, we don't put the cows in here. So she's grazing this. She does around the barn and the sheds, like a big glorified weed eater.
Yep, they're a nice finish mower.
Yeah. And Katahdins, St. Croix, kind of they're hair sheep. But she's doing a great job, and the fact that she has them trained to this too, just
that makes it makes me think maybe with sheep.
Yeah.
Well, usually I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that.
Well, I'll tell you, these, when I see people, when we started, we used netting, the electric netting, and it just takes too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
Too much. But this is pretty slick, and she can throw that up pretty quickly, and the sheep they've been great, just great. I'll see you down there, sheepy.
Do you find when it comes like the management of all these different species that it helps to have one person responsible for one?
Yeah.
So like their brain can just focus on one species instead of because I think at different times you can almost get overwhelmed with all the different.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I mean, and even with the stewards and stuff, we rotate chores only on a weekly basis. So there's 3 people in with the broilers this week, another 3 people next week. Nobody thinks about their broilers during that week except those 3 people.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a lesson with the people who are trying to get started to master something first, 1 or 2 things first.
Yeah.
Before trying to do it all.
So those turkeys started up here at the top, and they've come all the way along this ridge and down.
This grass looks amazing, though.
Yeah, it's coming.
Because you didn't start with all the different species. It's something that you gradually built into.
You mean the animals?
Yeah. Or is that something that your dad started?
Yeah, we started with cows, and then I added chickens when I was 10.
Yeah.
And we tried sheep and got rid of them early on. Back, because electric fence was not very good back then. And then we didn't add pigs until later. We added pigs to do the composting.
Right.
We didn't add pigs until we did the composting. You're gonna enjoy this right here.
What have you seen that the pigs add to like the management piece? As far as a different, so you said you added them first for the compost.
Yeah.
Have you been surprised or pleasantly surprised with something that they do on the ground that is unique?
Well, we've been pleasantly surprised by their value.
Yeah.
I mean, man, pigs right now. Let's see, pigs are on par with cows right now for us. Yeah, they're a money maker. Hi, ladies. These are the eggmobiles, obviously, what they're doing with the cow pies. The flies are starting, it's gotten cooler now, and the flies aren't quite as much as they've been. We used to, talk about, changes. We used to run 2 12 by 20s. Now we're running all 8 by 16s. And we haven't hooked 3 together yet, but we could hook 3 together. And we just love the 8 by 16s. They're more maneuverable. They go through gates better. You can take them down the road easier. Just there's a whole lot to recommend. So the train idea is, again, it's much bigger, much better to have the train idea than have one great big thing. I see these people with these massive eggmobile, that have whatever, 800 in this big 40-foot long thing. Man, I can't imagine the weight and moving that thing around your field. You'd take a 100 horsepower tractor to move that thing around your field. But these are light and very maneuverable because they're narrower and not as long.
So does this one have the wind meter up there? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So 20 miles an hour, it goes down, and let's see, where am I here? Oh.
Oh wow!
And you can set it. You can set it to move by itself multiple times a day. And it has a brake bar. When it moves by itself, it moves in reverse, and it has a brake bar back here, so that if an animal is in front of it, this brake bar shuts it off till the animal gets out of the way. And of course it goes up and down by itself.
Oh, it closes way differently too. That's cool.
It's like an umbrella.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bring it all the way down. Well, see, the beauty with the anemometer to shut it down, if the wind gets up, you don't have to put a bunch of outriggers and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Simplifies it dramatically, and boy, it's fun. I've been out actually doing tours and stuff with people on a hot day when it moves itself. It's really cool. You got a group of people, and all of a sudden this thing just starts moving. I mean, it's like something out of, magic. The thing moves, and so when it's real hot, we can have it move 3 times a day, so you don't plug up the ground, muck it all up and everything. And
well, that's actually brilliant.
So this is Gen 3. We've got 3 of these: Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, and they've each come. The first, this is the first one. He's got all this up here, which added about the self-moving, the computer, all that stuff, and the solar panel to run the lithium battery. That all added about 5,000. But
that seems like it should.
Yeah. I have no problem with that. I mean, when you can just know on a hot day this thing's going to move at 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, it's slick. And so we've actually done the figures on it. If you put in the weight gain, the comfort gain on either milk or beef, you do the weight or milk gain, and then you do the NPK value, this thing pays for itself in a season and a half, 1.5 years.
Yeah. Which
is a no-brainer. Yeah. ROI, generally in business, if you have a 3-year payback on a capital investment, that's a green light. 3 years or less is a green light.
Yep.
7 years and more is a red light. And between 3 and 7 is a yellow light. You gotta kind of think about it. Yeah.
Because what do you think you fit under your 30?
Oh, 100.
100?
It's big enough for 100 cows. Yeah. We've been running it all summer. In fact, we've got 3 of them. They're all the same size, but they don't all have the gingerbread on them.
Yeah.
And so if you want to move it with a tractor, you just. And then you hook it up with a tractor, and this'll spin. And when you have it self-propelled, you can put this pin in right here to make it stay so that this can't pivot.
Yeah.
It's just slick as can be. Yeah, we're pretty tickled with this. The legume makes a bean in the summer, and
it looks pretty vegetative right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they'll eat it. They're coming in here today. They're over there right now. They're coming around, and they're going to be right here in this paddock today. So they're going to. Well, they were just here 3-4 days ago, and this looked just like that. So yeah, they'll eat that right up. I don't know what makes different things grow different. It just.
Well, that's kind of the nice thing about the system is you take a simplistic mindset where you say we are on it one day, we move them every day, and then whatever happens.
That's right.
Seems like good things happen.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So this is the Millennium Feather Net, and yes, it is named after the Millennium Falcon in Star Wars. So for 12 years, we've been hatching our own layers, not the broilers, but the layers. We're 12 years into this, where we've been selecting if you're old, productive, and healthy. That's all we ask. We don't care what color you are. We don't care how big you are. All we care is, are you old, healthy, and productive? So we call it functional genetics. We've been doing that now for 12 years. So we're 12 years in, and
how do you select that though? How do you go find that chicken's egg?
Well, so we're you have flocks. So we're all flock in, all flock out. So you got the oldest flock, and you look at who's healthy. And you can feel their abdomen to know if they're if they're laying or not. And so we select those, and then we breed them. So all year until I don't know what, a month ago, This was our breeding hens.
Okay.
Had 900 layers and 100 roosters. And we're selling this year for the first time. It's been a quiet launch, and we're selling nationwide fertile eggs from these birds.
Oh, cool. Do you have any here? Do you have any right now?
No,
I suppose I can't really bring them back on the plane.
Yeah, no, but we sell them 4 dozen at a time. They come in a 4 dozen box, which is going to generally give you 20 pullets. So you're going to get 48 eggs. 40 will hatch. 20 of them will be roosters. 20 of them will be pullets. And they've just been extremely well. Like I said, there's a soft launch this year. We haven't said a lot about it. We haven't gone real public with it, but we've sent them all over the country just to find out. We don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. We want them to hatch. We want people to be happy with them, and they've been thrilled. The hatch has been 85-90%. It's been really good.
That's a different model than the conventional model of sending live chicks.
Yes.
So what made you different?
Well, because we don't want to go through all the paperwork and hassle of sending live chicks. Live chicks are that's a nightmare.
Well, it does seem like an easier system.
Yeah. Well, there's no regulation.
But I don't know of anybody that's done that. I'm sure there's other companies that do it, but I've never.
I haven't thought about it either. We just did it because for us, I mean, we were already shipping eggs anyway, and so we said, well, we'll just ship the fertile eggs. Of course, we don't put them in dry ice. We just ship them at temp.
Because we bought a little hatcher thing this year because it's fun for the kids to sit in the kitchen.
Lots of people.
I couldn't find layers this spring.
Well, it's been very well received, and we think this is after this summer now, kind of prototyping it out, getting enough out there in the field. We think this is another, $100,000 a year enterprise.
Yeah,
for
that's kind of a brilliant.
And they're beautiful. They're beautiful pullets. I mean, they're really pretty hens. And you can see, we started with all sorts. We had some, silver-laced Wyandottes, black Australorps, barred rocks, different types. And so here we are, 12 years of this, and this is what we've got. So they're not rainbow, but they're not true. They're what we call functional genetics. And what we've seen, here's what we see. The selling points are, number one, they do seem to have a little heavier body size than some of the others. Number two, they are smarter. They're if you're training them to something, eggmobiles, whatever, they're smarter. And the third thing is they're more docile, which means you don't ever have blood spots, meat spots, things like that. And we don't, we sell 200 dozen eggs a day we get, and we never candle anything. We sell them to restaurants all over the place. We've never candled anything, and we've never had any trouble. And so we really want, I mean, look at that. Hi, lady. How are you? You doing good? You doing good? We really want docile birds, because even from the hatcheries, the good hatcheries servicing, these servicing homesteaders, their birds aren't out. They're not out with people like this. They've got them in little cubicles, and and so these guys are now generations handled like this. People, pasture, range.
Well, I also like that business thought where it's like, instead of giving people a million options for all these different exotic birds, just give you the ones that work. And if you don't want them, that's fine.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. So yeah, we've been real thrilled, and we did one production trial, and these 3 years old laid as well as hatchery birds in 1 year old. So if you can go to 3 years instead of 2, in your rotation, that's a game changer too. Yeah. Because you don't have to capitalize it as quickly.
So how long can they stay? So I'm picturing our little hatcher thing, I think fits 10 eggs in it. So if I were to order,
well, you have to get 48.
I know. So you get 48. How soon is there a way to store them?
No.
So they have to go in the hatcher.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah. So you'd either have to get another couple of hatchers,
Yeah.
or get a bigger hatcher. But yeah, you can see it's really neat up here to see hey ladies. See the eggs. Hi ladies. Hey, you see. See, feel how heavy that bird. You know, she's got some heft to her.
Yeah, they are a lot bigger than like ours.
Yeah. Which
makes them probably more hardy.
Yeah, hardy, and it gives you a stewing hen at the end that's got got some meat on. You sell for $10. And if you can capitalize your replacement flock with the old stewing hens going out, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
Because most of the time in a commercial production situation, the first 2 months of production are just to pay for the new bird. Everybody okay? Yep.
And then it is an expensive whatever, 6 months before they lay too.
So this is just on skids. This never blows away. This will take 100-mile-an-hour winds. It's when the wind hits it, as opposed to a hoop structure. The problem with hoop structures is
it's a sail. It's like a big sail.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, all the bracing has to be on the ground because the hoops don't have any bracing.
Yeah.
So all the bracing's down on the ground. You're tripping over it. You're catching chickens. So I can't take any credit for this design. This is all Daniel's design. And when he conceived of this, the scissor truss with the A-frame and the skids, that was a game changer, because now you never run over a chicken because everything is moving in the distance, and there's nothing to grab a chicken because all the bracing is up away from the chicken.
Yeah.
And it's just an elegant, and when the wind hits it, the wind actually pushes it into the ground instead of trying to flip it over. So it's really an elegant design. We have 4 of these. And when we built it, I mean, this was the first one. It's been around a long time, but I actually took it and just spun it around in the field, just to see how. Man, we've taken it through creeks and valleys and up. I mean, it'll go through a creek and come up, and the thing's a third up in the air and then pong, down the other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just really a solid structure. The spreader bar on the front is so that you're not putting pressure to pigeon toe the front end, and of course it's hooked to the feed buggy and you just go right on.
You've come up with a couple smart things in your life.
So this is 1,000 layers.
How often you move them then? Every 2 days?
We move the shelter every 2 days and the whole thing every 4 days.
Okay.
Because if we don't move the shelter every 2 days, it's too much manure on that spot. Oh boy, it's neat to see this regrowth in only 3 days. Man, it's been so dry. We just
crazy what rain does.
Yeah, it is amazing what rain does. Hopefully, normally we get grass growth through the month of October. Once November hits, then we're pretty much done unless you get a week of warm. But so we got 1 more month of growth, and Lord willing, these fields will come on back and we'll get some good winter stockpile. Feather net with the layers that came down through here. You can see the green, and they went down around, came back, and now they're zigzagging around.
There's no foxtail where they were.
No.
So is this where you would like to see the grays end up when they get moved? About this like amount of grass left over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're doing fine. So the whole grazing, take half, leave half versus pounding. We believe quite strongly that you cannot move ecology forward unless you pound it routinely. Yeah. But you can't do that too often or they don't gain well. So you're always in this tension between take half, leave half, versus pounding. One for the benefit of the animal, one for the benefit of the forage and the soil. So how's everybody doing? So this water is coming from that pond up there. Gravity.
Yeah. No
pumps, no electricity.
That's pretty awesome.
You can see the pressure. That's about 70 pounds of pressure. How's everybody doing? Doing okay?
Look good.
Yeah. Yeah, the herd here, we have big herds at rental farms. Right now we have, I don't know what, 800 head, something like that. So this is what we call a hodgepodge herd. So it's got some of the finishers. It's got a couple of cow calves that are cull cows that for whatever reason that we're getting rid of the cow. We don't want her with the bull to get bred again. Yep. So we'll let her raise a calf and then, cull the cow. It has a couple that got a little bit behind. We love the big herd, but the problem with the big herd is that it does become somewhat wildish in that competition gets a little bit tough. Yeah. And so sometimes you'll have something that gets pushed back on the big herd. We call those the wolf pack. That's the one the wolves would have gotten. And so we have the top end here, the bottom end here, and kind of the culls here. And so it's a bit of a hodgepodge, but and it's very small right now. We're right at the end. We'll be bringing a bunch added to them here soon. So the herd here is constantly being added and depleted because here we're taking out here to go to slaughter. Yeah. And we go to slaughter every other week, twice a month. We go to slaughter with 15 head. So and so we go through the group, and we pick them as they get ready. Yeah. What do you think, people?
And the cattle are the centerpiece of the management. Everything kind of evolves around them, would you say?
Yeah, I mean,
they're covering the most ground.
I'm just going to check their salt box, see if they need more this afternoon when I move them. Hey, sweetie pies. Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of start. All right, I'll bring you some more. You start with the herbivore. You start with the herbivore because, if you're gonna do grass, your first thing is the grass, and you watch the cow pies. There's a dung beetle already on that one, and that hadn't even been a day. And there's another one. There's two dung beetles already on it. People are always concerned with the eggmobiles. Oh, what if they eat all the dung beetles? Oh my, they never get them all. Never get them all. Yeah.
Yeah, I never considered that, but I'm sure.
And people think the same thing about worms. Oh, aren't they going to eat the worms? Well, yeah, they do eat worms, but there's no better place for the worm oocyst to germinate except in a piece of dung.
Yeah.
So the chicken manure actually stimulates the germination of,
Well, and you're moving them. It's not
of
like
worms. Yeah, yeah.
they're not sitting there eating into the dirt.
Nope, nope, nope. When the foxtail is real young, they love it, but as it gets this old, they don't like it as much.
Yeah.
And
we're experiencing that right now.
and you know, and sometimes you have more or less. I mean, it depends on the season, weather, all sorts of things.
Yeah. What do you think? You think it's a dry stretch and
Yeah, I
that
think
lets it get out ahead of some stuff,
Yes.
and then right now you just see it.
Yes,
So
if it had been wetter, we'd have more fescue.
yeah.
And orchard grass.
Right.
But in the dry, the foxtail thrives in the dry, and so the hot dry brings on the foxtail.
Because I was disappointed because I'm like, oh, why do we have so much more foxtail this year?
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it. It's like, well, last year we were dry in the spring and got actual good rain.
Yeah.
You know, in July and August,
Yep.
and then this year we were wet in
Yep.
the spring and we're dry July and August.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yep. So it'll fluctuate day by day by day by day. Yeah, sure does. All right.
And you have a pretty strict culling theory.
I mean,
Yes.
to call them,
Yeah.
to move them.
No, culling, like
Oh, culling.
when you decide that a mom
culling.
can't be a mom anymore.
Oh, yeah. It's called one strike, you're out.
Yeah.
It's called ruthless culling.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. If you're not going to use medications, you'd better have a pretty aggressive culling program, or you're asking for trouble. Yeah, if we have one issue, whether we have to help you with calving or have to, have a pink eye or anything, you're out.
Do you judge a cow on its calf too? Like if the calf struggles, you go back to that cow and say,
She's gone.
you didn't give me a good enough calf?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. She's gone. Tom Lassiter, when he developed the Beefmaster breed, he had these 6 points, and one of them was that every cow had to bring a calf to weaning every year. No misses, no nothing. He was doing a presentation once, and a guy in the attendance wanted to push him a little bit. Said, "Well, Tom, if a calf gets struck by lightning, you can't call the cow for that."
Shouldn't have had the calf there.
And that's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
He said she shouldn't have had the calf there.
I think that's where having that meat market is so important, because now when you call, it's almost like, oh, well, I have another animal to go to sell. Like it's not like the end of the world.
Exactly.
It's
What
almost
a
a
change.
good thing.
Yeah, you start selling a cutter canner for $800, versus if you cut her up into good quality ground beef that you can sell for $8 a pound. Suddenly you've taken that $800 and turned it into $400.
Yeah.
A lot of times the difference between profit and loss is not getting a premium for the best, because the best always has a premium.
Yep.
It is elevating the salvage price, so that the poor stuff you can
That's
elevate.
where your profit comes in.
It'd be nice if you could ever get to a spot where all you had was premium, but that ain't gonna happen. It's like my neighbor Jim used to say. He said, anybody's got, I don't care whether you got 5 cows or 100 cows, you got one you hope steps up to the front that everybody looks at, and you got one you hope stays behind the brush and nobody sees.
That's also where it's so important to develop the ground beef market, because if you can sell your ground beef,
Yes.
everything else take care of itself.
That's right. Alan Nation used to say, if you can't run your grass-finished beef program on ground beef, don't start. He said it's got to be able to make itself go on ground beef alone, and then when you ever get stuff good enough to make into cuts, then you're okay.
I'm slightly concerned with the high prices in beef. Because I think it's gonna make people lazy on the marketing. Like because now they could take that call cow and she would bring 2,500.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Well, then you just now you're losing the customers who wanted meat, and you told them, well, I don't have any meat because I did. It's easier just to sell them at the sales bar right now,
Yep.
which it is.
Yep.
But
Yep.
what happens in 3 years?
The last time we had this high, well, in fact, I'll turn around and take you back. Daniel just Friday, he went and bought 18 at the sale barn. We have not bought anything at the sale barn for a couple of years, but we found this Dr. Paul's. I think they're an advertiser in Acres.
Yeah.
And man, we think that it is just the snake oil from heaven, liquid, snake oil.
Huh.
And man, oh man, it is just unbelievable. Well,
So you essentially, what is in this?
I can't tell you. But it's an organic elixir fixer. Daniel just got these Friday, and he got them Dr. Paul's.
So what is it? You sprinkle in their water, or you inject it?
Water. Mhm, water.
So it probably has like apple cider vinegar.
$2,060 a piece. $2,060 a piece.
How much do they weigh?
500.
Yeah.
But still, it's the highest price ones. They weigh between 400 and 500 pounds. The highest price ones, I saw the sales sheet that he brought. $5.50 a pound. He watched a day-old calf sell for $700. Day-old calf. And he said it was probably a week old, but it was a baby calf.
Yeah.
And he said one baby calf sold that looked like he was going to die in an hour, brought 150. I grew up buying, because we always milked a couple Guernsey cows, so we always had milk. So we always bought some little baby, bottle calves, and I remember getting them for $25 to $50. If you paid 80, you were, oh boy, that's high. Man, I can't imagine it. So Daniel wanted to try some here local from the sale barn and just see how they did. And man, they look, I don't hear a single cough.
Look content.
They look pretty good.
Well, he got some night, honestly. Did he buy them in a group, or he was just picking off?
Just picking off.
Yeah.
A couple of them were in 2 and 3.
Right.
But no black ones, all off. The black ones were all, he said they were all selling
they're just ridiculous.
$200 or $300 more than these. Yeah. Well, we've found that a lot of times the colored ones like this, whoever had those, if they're so negligent that they've got non-black, they probably didn't use Ralgro implants. They didn't use Rumensin.
Yeah,
and they're less whatever messed up.
I was like, I want to almost drive around and just find like the grimiest pasture that the guy's just been calving on that feeds hay all year round. It's like they'll explode in our system.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think he did pretty well.
I would be happy with those animals. I'd be fairly happy at $2,000 right now too.
But in 28, I think it's going to crash. In 28.
Think it's going to last that long?
We'll see.
Because the feedlots are actually, I think, hurting.
Oh,
they can't keep
I don't know how a feedlot. How can there be enough margin for a feedlot? If they're, Daniel said these buyers down there at the sale barn. They were paying.
I know, and they're not.
They were paying $2,500.
And they're buyers. They're not.
Yes,
they're
right.
not the ones that are worried about making money on it.
That's right.
So you're getting.
Yep. They're a buyer.
I don't get it. I don't get it, because when I go to the sales, I quit going, because it's just like any animal I want. There's a guy in the corner who just raises his hand nonstop.
Well, Alan Nation used to say, if you go to an auction and in 5 minutes you don't know who the sucker is, it's you.
It was me. Yeah, I was gonna say I was the sucker the times I ever bought them.
Well, Daniel's been going to the sale barn since he was little.
That's the thing. It's a whole other game.
It is. It's a whole culture.
Yep.
And he's got buddies down there. He'll go and talk to them, and
that's
find out. So here's another little enterprise that one of our team members, Eric, started. Eric and Leanna, they came to us a couple of years ago and said, "Could we dabble in hospitality?" I said, "Well, what do you want to do?" I said, "Well, we found an unfinished tiny house, and we think we could finish it and offer a tiny stay."
Yeah.
And so they've got a tiny stay, and this thing is full all the time.
This is how I've paid for my farm. I wish I could say I paid for it with the cattle, but but these are the things that people can do. Like,
yeah. Sleeps 4 comfortably, 6 tight. This is the bathhouse and the bathroom out there. And I'll whip this thing around here. And it's just as cute as can be. And there are people in here. He's got it open 8 months a year, not in the winter. 8 months. It's off grid. The LED panels over there, but that's there, right there behind us, and that's the view.
Heck yeah.
And people just love it.
it's in a good spot too.
Yeah, it's in a good spot.
They're not knocking on your door.
Right. Yeah, well, Teresa put her foot down on that.
Yeah.
We are not, I don't need people coming in here 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock shining lights in our bedroom.
Yeah, that's the
And
problem.
so we created this separate lane. But this is totally his enterprise. You know, he keeps it up and handles it. And we get a royalty because it's not Airbnb. It's just on our website. So
that's really impressive. That shows how powerful your influence is, because Airbnb actually is.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Like one of the best marketplaces I've ever seen.
That's right.
As far as like you can stick something on there and people are just giving you money. Like I've never seen anything like it before.
Oh, I know. I've heard nothing but positive about Airbnb.
But they're a giant corporation that there is no customer service. You know, we've had goofy things happen with ours where all of a sudden they've shut it down randomly and you can't get on the phone with anybody. It needs to be unique like that. So like on our farm, I bought it originally, it had 2 houses on it. We moved into the big house that Edmund lived in. And then the people that sold it to us, the guy moved down the hill and built this Amish cabin.
Okay.
Well, 3 months later, it's for sale. And I'm like, I drive like, I can't do that right now. So I did it. And I've never given $1 to that place. It's taking care of itself. But it's an Amish cabin. So like the other house on the farm is just like, 800 square foot old, like, where the kids lived at one point. That one didn't do as well. Because I think the uniqueness of it is important. Yep. But the uniqueness makes it cheaper. An Amish cabin's cheaper than building a house.
Yeah. I finally went to our board of supervisor elected and our economic development guy for the county, and I said, look, we need housing on site. Tell me what we can do without a permit, because if we've got to go get a special use permit, the neighbors who already call us bioterrorists and typhoid Marys are going to have a fit that they're Disneyfying the valley. And so anyway, they said give us a month. So they came back 28 days later and they said you can do 5 things. Okay. Number 1, if it's a farm barn, a shed or something, a farm building. Number 2, if it's in a tree, it's a tree house. Number 3, if it's on a chassis, so an RV. Number 4, if it floats, if it's like a houseboat floating a pond, and which we actually really looked at closely. And then number 5, a hunt camp. So we got a hunt camp.
Oh, hunt camp, that's easy. So what do locals think of you? Is your economic development people happy? Because I'm sure you bring a lot of people in.
Are they happy?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. A lot of that developed because the economic development authority guy, he was down at the Weir's Cave airport one day and a Learjet flew in, so he went over and asked, who's that? Because we've got a Hershey plant, Nibco, Cargill, Purdue, and he said, no, That's a lady from Florida coming up to Polyface to get beef for her daughter's wedding reception. Well, his light bulbs went off. Wow, this is something. So he called me and said, can we do an economic impact statement for Polyface, you know? So we said, and we did it. And he presented it to the Chamber of Commerce. And his point was, at the time, the county was all embroiled in a very, very vicious thing where they were wanting to condemn 3 farms taken by eminent domain and bring in a Toyota factory, Toyota plant. And his point to the board was, we don't need a Toyota plant, we just need about 10 Polyfaces, and that's all. That's all we need.
Well, yeah.
And so we got a lot of equity there, you know, a lot of emotional equity. So, you know, the economic development people, they're thrilled with us. The neighbors were not in war, but we're on different planets, obviously, and they certainly don't like the traffic we put on the road. So we give them all Thanksgiving turkeys. We give them a Thanksgiving, Christmas turkey. You know, we try to, you know, be good neighbors that way. But
that is one of the issues with
it is
the entrepreneur coming out and buying land.
It is very much so. Yeah, these guys they don't you know, it's NIMBY. You know, I got mine. I don't want anybody else. And most farmers hate people, so they don't like to see, you know, cars driving down the road. So this is our infamous carbon shed, you know, where we feed the hay, do the carbon, the deep bedding, have the mobile, you know, feed boxes to go up and down. And this is the carbon shed over here. In a month, this will probably all be full of wood chips, and we can stockpile it there and get it dry.
So where's the pulley system?
You see the pulleys on top of the box?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a winch on the far end, and it's like a curtain. You just winch it, and they all come up at the same time.
So those boxes raise up.
Yeah.
And you put the hay in them, or they eat?
Okay. No, they put the hay in them.
Got it. So they don't just eat it off
the middle board there is on there to keep the pigs from jumping in it.
Yeah.
So that middle board will come off when we start feeding.
Got it. And how many head do you have in here then?
This barn will handle 160, and the one up there will handle 120.
So they won't yard out here. This is
well, they yard out over here.
Okay, gotcha.
So that turns into a mud pit.
Yep.
But they don't spend much time out there because it's so, you know, it's so much cleaner in the barn itself. I don't know. Go right there. But yeah, this is a pretty significant. There you go. A pretty significant. So all this, imagine this, all of this awning capacity being 4 feet deep. That's a lot of compost. Mm-hmm. And then we put the corn in it. It ferments, and then when the cows come out, the pigs then turn that fermented that bedding pack that's fermenting, eat the fermented corn and turn it into aerobic compost.